let's run through the Save Tolka Park
Yeah.
campaign, I suppose. They're after delving out a bit of information of how they're going to go about whatever they're going to do if they ever get the chance to do it. So give us a shout there.
Yeah, so last night at 7 o'clock, they had an online event. It's when they were releasing the full plans. We obviously talked about it for a couple of weeks now, and we were sort of hard to get into details because details weren't available. But during this, they released a 35-page proposal of what they're going to do. And look, probably, if you want to have an in-depth look at it, I'd recommend going to Save Tolka Park. I missed the event myself last night. Didn't really matter. I was able to get up this morning and have a read through it, and really, really informative, really good. And as well, if you're not into reading 35 pages, there is bits you can skip, and it's well designed. The proposal plan itself was really, really commendable, really, really thought out. So yeah, look, the plan is that they're looking to refurbish Tolka Park instead of completely knocking it down, turn it into a 6,000 seater stadium, 6,000 plus seater stadium. Which will bring it up to your UEFA category 3, I believe. So that's going to be done in 3 separate phases. Phase 1 will be refurbishing the main stand and the riverside stand, which are the 2 stands on the side of the pitches. So that'll cost around 1.325 million to do. Phase 2 will be a demolition of the 2 stands behind the goal. That's the half stand that you love. You've said it a lot of times, it's your favourite stand in the league. And the colourful stand behind the goal, which is gone by the wayside. And so and then the stand with the colourful seats, the half seats missing, that's the only way I can describe it, colourful seats. That's going to be turned into like a community facility centre. So that's going to be gone, turned into a centre. So the reporting that will cost around 5.425 million, with just because there's going to be more of a demolition more than a refurbishment. It's going to cost more. Then finally, the third phase is they're going to put a new stand behind that goal again, where the community centre is. So it's going to link on with this new community facility. So it'll be easy access for people in and out, especially wheelchair access and things like that. And then they're going to put in a hybrid pitch, and that as well is going to cost about 2.432 million. So a lot of money, obviously, to say, but if you compare that with the Dalymount Park redevelopment, which the price is rising, it's reportedly rising as high as 35 million. That's what this is one of the arguments that they're making, is that you might, instead of having one state-of-the-art facility and knocking down Tolka, why don't, instead of redevelopment Dalymount Park, you just refurbish it? So you have 2 high-quality stadiums in the League of Ireland, in the north side of Dublin. Like Tolka Park around Drogheda, they were saying it's an area that is crying out for a big facility like this. And of course, the history that goes into Tolka, we don't have to tell you, Roy, big shells man like it. It's something that, the Save Tolka Park campaign, they said it from the word go, in fairness, it's not they're against the redevelopment Dalymount. They just feel that the league will benefit from having, the community as well will benefit from having 2 refurbished stadiums in the area.
Yeah. Now, as I said before about the Dalymount one, it was supposed to be 10,000. Then it reduced it down to 6,000. It was supposed to be 10 million. Now it's up to 35 million.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense for me. Like, it's great to have a stadium that's going to look well. The optics of it, it's going to look really well. But 6,000 isn't enough. I don't see how it's, for all that money, that 6,000 seater stadium is any good. And people say, well, they don't get the crowds. Well, if you want to build something and you want to build crowds, well, then 6,000 is going to put you at a limit. Already, they'll fill that stadium with a Shamrock Rovers and Bows game, and more. So they're already behind before they even build this stadium. So 6,000 to me is nonsense. I think that 10,000 was the more realistic to actually benefit from it. I think Bows are such a big club in that area. I think they can build on it. They do fantastic work down there, do fantastic work in the community. Yeah. They do fantastic work highlighting certain topics. They've been just a really, really good club over the last while with all that sort of stuff. And to settle, and that's what it looks like to me, to settle for a 6,000 seat stadium just because they do need that help. And I understand why they would look for that. But I would be pushing for more if I was part of that club. I'd be looking to say, listen, we need 10,000 here if we want to benefit here, and especially with the two clubs going into it, it just doesn't make sense to me.
No.
But 10,000 to me would be what I'd be looking at. Or if you had a 6,000 where you could expand, fine, that's great. If there's a chance then to expand after 5 years or 6 years, and there's an extra 3,000 or 4,000 seats that you can add onto it, fine, that's great. But if it's going to be solid 6,000 after building everything around it, I just think that's I don't see. The league is progressing, it's getting bigger, you're looking to get more fans in, have the facilities ready for where we want the league to go. And I just think 10,000 is what you can do. And then sure, you can have gigs and everything in the place, you know. So I just think that's something that would bother me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think especially if you look at Bohemian's numbers in terms of season ticket sales and membership, you know, it's one of the highest in the league. It's a club that's known in recent years for drawing a big crowd. Now, there's certain clubs around the country that just aren't, and Bow certainly isn't one of those. It's disappointing to see. I think the whole Dalymount project is a real source of frustration for people at the club, mainly because the hold-up seems to be not the actual stadium, but the redevelopment of the surrounding area. So it's, if you were to come in and refurbish Dalymount alongside Tolka Park, it'll probably be a quicker and cheaper process too. So I think that is the frustrating thing, that it's different if it was the stadium holding up, but it's not. So I think that seems to be a real.
And you do want stuff for the area, like football clubs are about the area, so you do want those facilities too. But the fact that, and it's like this, the Children's Hospital in Dublin and all this, the county councils in Ireland make a balls of a lot of things. And already now this is tripled in price. How they do it, I have no idea. I think they just decide, listen, we'll go with the dearest person that's out there and then we'll give them an extra few quid. But they just seem to make an absolute balls of it. Or they're just not very good at totting up stuff at the start. And then it just goes disastrous. But it's a disaster. If it goes from 10 million, surely that it can be ballpark around that price. Yeah, the Tolka Park thing, Dalymount looks like that they're saying Dalymount is subject to Tolka being sold. Yeah. So if Tolka isn't sold, does that mean that Dalymount isn't going to get the go-ahead?
We were talking about that actually on Wednesday, wasn't it? It was asked you in the podcast. We've seen things happen in the league, you know, and is it realistic to come to a stage where the Dalymount just goes by the wayside, Dalymount stays the way it is, and Tolka stays the way it is, which would be a crying shame. By looking at this, you know, in fairness, I was intrigued. I think more so with the Save Tolka Park campaign. You can't really make too much judgment before you see things like this. And after reading it, I will say the idea of having two high standards League of Ireland grounds refurbished, it really is appealing, because like you said, there's a real threat of Dalymount just falling by the wayside and plans falling by the wayside. You know, going back to we've seen it at Patson, it was a completely different scenario, it was a much quicker scenario, but plans were somewhat in place, not to this extent, but these things can fall, and it'd be a real shame to see it happening. And I would really, really like to see it going ahead. The funding, again, it's going to be a question that's thrown out to Tolka Park. They were talking about a co-op based fan investment to get the Save Tolka Park plans up, talking about funding and donations from the Irish Immigrant Investor Programme. This is an avenue that GAA went down, so there's room for something there. And there's other avenues that they haven't outright named, but there's already actively exploring other avenues. So in fairness, when you're talking about the investment and the funding towards these plans at Tolka Park, there seems to be solid ones in place, and maybe it could be the best thing going forward is just refurbishing the two of them instead of knocking down Tolka and starting again with Dalymount. Yeah,
I'd love to see Dalymount refurbished. I'd love to see Tolka Park refurbished. The more stadiums, quality looking stadiums. And in all fairness, the artist impressions, whoever the artists are, have done a fantastic job of making them look amazing. And if they turn out that way, absolutely brilliant. That's exactly what you want. You want to see the league up to standard and up to date, really, you know, because a lot of them are falling apart. And if it's basically
it's not appealing. Not appealing, you know. If you were to stumble across a game on RTE or whatever, and this is how some people come into the league, you know, they stumble across it. And if you were to see some of the stadiums on the television, it's just not eye-catching to watch, you know. And for people that are long-term fans, you know, we're sort of just used to it now, and we go to these stadiums. We're going to go to these stadiums. It doesn't matter. We're going to go support our teams. But that's not the case for a new fan, you know. It's more than football. It needs to be. It's a form of entertainment. It's a night out. It needs to be an attractive thing to do. And just at the moment with the facilities, it's not.
Yeah. Great work done by Bowes. Great work done by the Save Tolka Park campaign, because, listen, we want new stadiums. So whatever way it's resolved, if it turns out that just Dalymount is the thing and the two of them are sharing it, fine. Happy days. At least it's a new stadium and it gives the league a boost. I'd be just looking to get the best. If you're going into these things, get the best of what you can get. Sligo Rovers are doing the same. You know, we have clubs who are trying to change the way they're looked at. And again, as I said before, 100 times before, we need the government to start chipping in as much as possible. It's our money. The league needs our money, and the money that we pay in taxes to our government, we need money being put into the clubs around the country. County council, they're run by our money. The people who are in there are employed by our money, and they should be looking out for the areas around the likes of Drumcondra and Phibsborough and Sligo and wherever it is. They need to look out for the people who love football. And once you get those facilities in, you're going to see a broader love for the game. Absolutely no doubt about it. You're going to, as you said, get the new football fan in, someone who is supporting Leeds all their life, but all of a sudden now, this is interesting. I live in Sligo for how long now, and you know what? That's really made it appealing for me now. I can feel like I'm a Sligo fan, where before they mightn't have liked going down. They might have thought, this is, you know, Ellen Road is the thing that I've always liked, and you know, it doesn't compare. Sligo Showgrounds doesn't compare, or whatever comparison you want to make. But I definitely think so. Now I'm bringing this on to Drogheda United, who are actually doing the very same thing. Now, these are all plans, and let's hope that these come to fruition. What are they, Nathan?
Yeah, more great work. You know, this is we've talked about Bowes and what they do with the community. All credit to Drogheda United. Again, chatting to Darry Markey during the week, he's in his short time in Drogheda, he was impressed by the community feel in the club, and I think this is just evident of it. So you're going to have Drogheda United, Drogheda Boys, and Drogheda Girls all coming together under the one Drogheda United banner. So you're going to have three separate teams from the same area linking up together, which when you have teams like that, you're stronger, especially in an area like Drogheda. When you have three sides, it's just going to be a stronger team. They're looking to develop 40 teams from men's, women's, boys and girls, all levels. Again, brilliant for the local area. You know, you're hoping that will boost interest. They're looking to build around 2 million or 3 million euro training facility, which it's going to be, so the ground is already there. It's going to be on the ground of Drogheda Boys, so there's no issue in terms of buying ground or anything. That's already there. It's going to have 3 pitches, a brand new clubhouse, a gym, here we go again, a community facility. So this is all community based, and these are all things that I think if you're a fan of the league, you should be getting behind it, you should be supporting, even if it's not in your club. They're hoping that can be completed by the end of 2022, and they're hoping to have a new stadium that's now heading to Game Park. They're hoping to have a new stadium between a 3,000 and 5,000 seat stadium by 2023. So look, all initial plans, all only plans, nothing set in stone, nothing solid at the moment, but you have to just applaud the effort, you know. And I've talked about you a lot, that this community based, having the clubs based around the community, it's absolutely vital for the league, and it's something that we really should all be championing.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. When you look at what they're talking about, let's just talk about the stadium, 3,000 to 5,000. Again, if they can build on that and add another 2,000 to 3,000, whatever it is in the future, there's work for that, then brilliant, because we want the league to be in a position where they're not just getting the 4,000 and 5,000s, that eventually, it may be over 10 years, it may be closer to 15 years, that you're getting capacity or attendances in around the 10,000 mark, your 8s, 9s, 10,000 mark. If we have that, that means then the game is looking bigger. It means more sponsors are going to come in.
Yep.
You know, so we've got to look bigger all the time and not settle for 2,000 and 3,000, but look to aim for the 10,000. I think that's the magic number for us. Then to get to more, as you said, advertising, sponsorship in, and it just, you know, once you get them in, then you're going to get the merchandise is going to start moving, and it just benefits everyone.
It all snowballs.
It all snowballs, and that means more jobs out there for people as well. And that's a huge thing. And I think that's what the government and these county councils need to take in. There's going to be jobs created if we get this going and we get it doing it right. So, yeah, no, I'm delighted to hear that news from Drogheda. Delighted to hear, obviously, Tolka Park, that they're trying to do something there, trying to develop it. Whether that'll happen or not, it looks the least likely to happen. But whether that happens or not, I'd be delighted to see it happen. Obviously, we want to see Dalymount happen. Again, as I said, with the 10,000 I'd be looking at, and showgrounds as well who are looking to it. And you look at Finn Harps, they haven't stopped either. They're looking to get theirs up and going. They've got funding there as well. So, like, there are clubs out there, and we need all the help we can get. So we need councillors out there helping the local clubs, not trying to, I suppose, avoid them, because all our clubs have been avoided for far too long.